What will happen to our bodies and well-being if we run every day? How will life change and what processes will take place in our bodies? There will be many changes, especially if you have not been involved in sports before. In this video, I will tell you what will happen to you if you run regularly. The first question is it possible to run every day? Yes, you can run every day, but there are certain conditions. Firstly, if you have never run before, then you should not immediately start running a lot. You need to start small because sharp sports loads can lead to injuries. The second important condition is the running technique. According to statistics, up to 90% of people who start running in the first year get some kind of injury. Almost always, these injuries could have been avoided if people had been careful and followed the correct running technique. There are a lot of videos on the correct running technique, but the main rule of running technique is not to take the leg too far forward, that is, our legs seem to move under us. This is the main rule that will save your knees. There are also contraindications for running if you are overweight. In other cases, you should not be afraid. So if you are just starting to run, then you can start with 10 or 30 minutes of running a day. If you have already gained a certain shape, then you can run about 40 or 50 minutes a day. It depends on the pace, but in general, it is recommended to run not fast, and this is a recommendation for health. The distance for such moderately advanced runs is about 5 or 10 kilometers. Running for sports performance and running for health is, of course, different things, because running for health is an easy run when your heart rate does not exceed 120 beats per minute. This is optimal in terms of preventing cardiovascular diseases and many others. Easy running will not lead you to overtrain, and therefore it is possible to run a little bit every day. What will happen to our bodies? Any physical activity is light stress, and it always leads to mobilization and adaptation to changing conditions. The very first change that you will begin to experience is a surge of endorphins, that is, a surge of hormones of cheerfulness and joy, that is, you will experience pleasure, and this will begin to affect your positive worldview. That is why those who regularly play sports, in general, feel better both physically and psychologically. Cognitive abilities will improve, working capacity will increase, memory will improve as well as sleep. Physical activity strengthens the immune system. Moreover, they are useful even for our digestion. Muscle mass cannot be pumped up by running, because to pump up muscle mass it is necessary to deal with weights, but it is possible to tone them up and give them relief and a more elastic look. Our adaptation will take place very quickly. Literally from the first training, we will begin to saturate the body with oxygen. Running will greatly affect our vascular system, and that is why blood and oxygen will be delivered to the most remote area where it was not delivered before if you led a sedentary lifestyle. Pretty soon, the pressure will begin to decrease, especially if you have not done anything before. It is believed that regular moderate physical activity can reduce blood pressure by 10 points, that is, if you have, for example, an upper pressure of 140, then this is already hypertension, but if you start running regularly, you will bring it to 130, and this is already a much better condition. What will happen to you in a month? In a month, all these processes will take on a much more pronounced form, that is, if after training you felt good for the first few hours, then after a month of regular training you will feel great all day long. If you are overweight, then in a month you will see how the kilograms go away, and this will be visible not only on the scales but also in the mirror, and people will begin to pay attention to this and possibly give compliments. It will also have a very important cosmetic effect because running will improve your skin, it will become much more elastic and acquire a healthy color, and if you run for a very long time, it will give you youth and longevity. Physical activity has been proven to increase life expectancy and quality of life. The next point, running will increase the vital volume of your lungs, which means they will have a much greater margin of safety. It is still necessary to make a certain remark. If you regularly run, then it is necessary to improve your nutrition because it cannot exist separately. Exercise, eat well and ride at the same time. Moreover, in addition to nutrition, recovery is also important, that is, good sleep for at least 7 or 8 hours a day, because if you run without proper recovery and nutrition, then you will not get all the positive changes that you could get. Do not abuse too fast running, it has its side effects. Fast running is good if you want to show a sporting result, like running a 100-meter sprint to set your personal best, or maybe even compete in competitions, but running too fast has at least 2 very significant side effects. First, it is destructive to the knees. Very quickly and very often people begin to feel pain in the joints if they are too fond of fast running. The second is harm to the heart. I hope this video was useful for you, and soon you will start running every day correctly and get all the positive effects of running that I talked about in this video.